Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, seen Wednesdays on the Sports Collectors Daily Facebook page and the Great American Collectibles Facebook page. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Spotify. The Great American Collectibles Show is brought to you by the National Sports Collectors Convention and Sports Collectors Daily. Tonight's headlines are brought to you by Sports Collectors Daily. For all your hobby news, features, and more, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. And now your host, Tom Zappola, and Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli.
Welcome, everybody. Mr. Petrocelli, how are you?
Good.
God
Hi,
bless you.
everyone. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to be here.
You
with
look good. You look very nice.
Yeah, compared to who?
I know. Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zappola, Red Sox Hall of Famer, Rico Petrocelli. We have a very good show today. Two guys right out of the gate, two good friends.
Headlines.
No, I'm going to introduce. What did you just say to me? What did you say to me?
Subliminal.
You said make sure you introduce them before you read
I
the
didn't
headline.
say that.
That's exactly what you said.
All right.
Anyways,
you're right.
Our good friend Joe Tomasulo is going to be with us for the whole show, and another good friend, Paul Borges from PB Collectibles. Welcome, boys. How come I can't hear them?
You two are incredible. So the conversation was we're going to do the headline, then introduce the guys and bring them on.
Oh,
so the reason you couldn't hear them is because you haven't done the headline, so I didn't let them in yet.
Good. All right.
So now they're here. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey.
Good morning.
All right, I screwed up.
He screwed up already.
All right,
Go ahead.
anyways, we have a great show. And by the way, later on in the show, other good friend, Brian Drent from Mile High Card Company is going to be joining us. He's got a great auction starting, and he's bringing his little Honus Wagner card with him. But first, our headlines. And this headline, what's that guy's name? Nostradamus?
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame for a couple of years.
Nostradamus was the guy that used to make predictions.
Oh, predictions, huh?
Here's my Nostradamus.
All right. Nostradamus.
Wanda Franco allegations impacting the card market. There have been scandals in sports that have had ripple effects on the hobby, but this one seems different. In a matter of a week, a Twitter post, a mid-game disappearance from the Tampa Bay Rays dugout, and the announcement of an investigation by Major League Baseball have mothballed most activity for baseball cards of a player who was the most widely invested rookie ever to enter the game. Nothing has ever hit the sports card industry quite like the predicament that Wander Franco finds himself in. The few graded rookie cards that have been listed on eBay last week were selling for prices below the cost of grading. Never has the hobby seen a mass exodus from a red-hot star who has been in the news and portrayed a negative light quite like this. Now, we're not going to get into the specifics. If you want the specifics, go to sportscollectorsdaily.com. But as far as I'm concerned, and you guys can chime in here,
I was gonna say,
Wander Franco's career as a Major League Baseball player is done. What do you guys think?
Tom, I want to go beyond that. How many times have you, Rico, myself, discussed modern versus vintage and the danger of modern? You're a headline away from your card being flushed down the toilet.
Absolutely.
Right?
Paul, what do you think?
And perfect example.
It's absolutely so true. I have a guy that works for me on the weekends, and he brought in a case full of Wander Franco, expensive cards, vested heavily, and they're all right in the toilet. It's so true.
It's amazing. You know something?
That's one example anyway.
Of what?
It's one guy.
No, it isn't.
Oh, you got to have the moderns for the new
Investors.
kids. And I don't mean the moderns, somebody, who's really one of the top players. You know what I'm saying?
No one disagrees with you.
Yeah.
But don't pay $2,000 for a card of a rookie. And that's what happened with him.
Who makes the price?
The market. It's what the market will bear. When he came out, people were paying $2,500 for a Wander Franco PSA 10 graded card.
Okay.
PSA 10.
Yeah.
The kid had been out. He hadn't even been in. I don't think he had even had an at-bat yet.
Right,
that's wrong.
Right.
That's wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, so he goes at one of the auctions, right? His card, let's say, and so they bid on it. So it's and it goes way up.
Right.
So all of a sudden,
Because
that's
of the
going to be
hype.
at least the price, let's say in another auction or whatever.
Because of the hype.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, because of the hype. Okay.
Exactly.
All right.
Anyways.
Cruz, red hot too. The kid from the Reds. People are investing a lot of money.
Yeah, that's another good example, Paul. You know? All right, listen,
chance.
Paul, we want to chat with you first. You just got back from the East Coast National. Tell us about it.
It was great. I didn't get the top billing like Joe. I was in the side room. Well, at least the AC was working over there. But it was fantastic. It was a great 3 days out in New York. We had it was very, very busy. So I'm very pleased.
All lines around the building, like
Yeah.
the old Gloria Rothstein shows.
Wow.
Yes, I remember those
Gloria
very well.
Rothstein.
Yeah.
Hey,
Those were
Joe,
great.
can you sit back a little
was-
bit? Joe, can you sit back a little bit so we can see your whole? There you go.
Yeah.
There you
There
go.
we go.
Beautiful.
Or-
no, the other way. The other way.
The other way.
The other way.
If you go close.
There you go.
and-
No,
yeah,
that's-
do
Okay.
that more.
Forget it. Joe,
Anyway,
forget it.
yeah.
He looks like. No, that's okay.
No, he looks good.
You look good.
All right. Yeah, that's good. Well, so you just returned from doing the East Coast National. That's
Both of us. Yes.
yeah, both of you. And you so over 100.
So do you even see any modern cards over there at all? Would you even?
Oh, yeah.
Do you?
I mean, there was a thread on a baseball card forum saying it was probably 40% vintage versus 60% modern.
Is that what they said? Yeah.
I mean, 40, 60 to 50, 50.
What about kids? Were there a lot of kids there?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
A lot of young kids. Yep.
What about the T201s that I heard you bought some of those?
Yes, I was
yeah, that's
fortunate
good
enough.
card.
I have a customer who came in. They found him in an attic, one of those attic finds. They inherited a house in Pennsylvania, and a little tin was found. And in that tin was a bunch of T206 and T201s, and in very nice shape. So they're out at PSA right now. We're waiting for them to come back.
You know, Paul, when we talk about your business all the time, the ultimate neighborhood card shop, you know, and that's why we actually established a relationship with you, because you're representative of what's happened in this country. On a good note, it's a good thing. You're in Newport, Rhode Island. You don't have a huge shop, but you have a great clientele, and it's like going back to our youth, where the neighborhood card shop is really flourishing again. Are you still seeing some pretty good business?
Definitely. This, like I said, the summertime is our time with all the tourists and so forth. I think I mentioned to you that we had somebody in here from Romania yesterday. We had somebody last week from the Netherlands. We've had people from California here. Just yesterday, we sold two families from Philadelphia, 4 Richie Ashburn autograph balls, Schmidt and Pete Rose, big Philly fanatics, if you will.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we get them from all over. It's a great tourist destination, and that works well for us.
Paul, do you do, besides baseballs and cards, do you do any other memorabilia? You don't do like game used bats or
Tickets and
jerseys?
stuff.
I have
tickets?
not game used. I have some. I've got about 50 signed bats. I bring in about 12 at a time because I don't have a lot of room.
Sure. But your bread and butter are cards.
Yeah, my bread and butter is definitely the cards, and I've got about 300 baseballs in here right now at a time. About all I can fit.
You know, I have no luck with baseballs.
Really, huh?
I buy the wrong damn thing.
Well,
Joe knows what I'm talking about. I bought a. I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to hang my dirty laundry out.
no.
I bought a baseball,
Oh,
Paul.
God.
Now, Joe knows. I bought a baseball that was signed by Jimmy Fox, Rogers Hornsby, George Sisler, Bill McKechnie, who else, Joe? 2 or 3 other Hall of Famers from that. Oh, Kyle Hubble, right? What is that ball worth, Joe?
His
All
Probably-
authenticated, everything beautiful, nice signatures. What's that ball?
You
worth?
would think it would be an 8,000 to 10,000 ball, but it's probably a 3,000-4,000 ball.
You know what that's ball?
And here's the issue. With balls, you want either single sign
Right.
or a theme. That ball has no theme.
Well, they're all all-star. I mean, they're all Hall of Famers.
Of, again, great Hall of Famers, but no theme. And when there's no theme, it doesn't capture a lot of interest.
What if Babe Ruth was on it?
Oh, that's a whole different ball game.
Well, that changes the playing.
Thank you.
That changes everything. Paul, what are your thoughts? Because I'm going to tell you what I paid for it when it's sold for.
All right.
Paul, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it's a beautiful ball. I have to say, it's a little out of my league.
I thought so.
In that sense. I have a Babe Ruth signed baseball on my PC. It's pretty toned, but the signature's big, beautiful. I bought it a number of years ago, so I just put it in my PC, but it's toned. But I don't have anything like I have a Carl Hubble ball, but it's single signed. I don't have anything.
I paid $3,000 for that ball. I put it into an auction, a very good auction house. The ball sold for $1,600.
Take it.
$1,600. My wife almost hit me with a baseball bat.
Well, you wouldn't realize. You didn't.
No, I didn't know.
You had good intentions.
$1,600. And I called Tomasulo. Says, Joe, what the hell did I do wrong? He says, nothing.
That's vintage, isn't it?
Vintage, yeah.
Well,
So someone got a good deal. It was at I think it was an REA auction. But whoever bought that ball, congratulations, because you've got a great buy.
that's going to happen. Just like the moderns, that's going to happen once in a while.
I know.
Totally.
But anyway.
We all take hits.
Oh, I know that,
Yeah,
Joe. Listen, if I look at the whole picture, I'm ahead of the game handsomely.
We don't want to discourage our
absolutely not.
listeners and viewers, that are collectors, because, if you have a good idea, plus the fact that where can these people learn more about these cards? You have brochures, catalogs and things like that
Read about it,
on
yeah.
your websites. Do you talk a little bit about, or you write about, say, the history of the ball, whatever information there is?
Absolutely, that's what you do. That's how you learn.
Did I ask him the question?
Well, there was no question in there.
I didn't know if it was a question.
That's
Thank
a
you.
question. Yeah, I said, do you guys, the hell's the question?
There's so much stuff out on the internet. You can Google so much of this stuff.
Well, that's true, yeah.
There's hobby periodicals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The information's out there.
Yeah. You're right. You're
Joe,
right.
you write all yours, right? For Memory Lane, you write everything. Do you do it yourself?
The write-ups?
Yes, you do it.
I do like more of the high-end write-ups, Paul.
Yep.
Okay, not more of the smaller write-ups. A lot of the 1-page, 2-page, half, 2/3 of a page.
Joe, you're an
write-ups.
excellent writer.
That's pretty much my.
I hate paying him compliments, Paul, but he is a very listen. I've written a few
I've
books.
heard you say it.
I've
Yes.
written a few books. My wife has got 40 years in the publishing business, now retired, but we both have talked about Joe's writing is very, it's colorful, it's entertaining, it's eye-catching, it's flowery. Mallory writes like that too.
Yeah,
Mallory writes like that
I think
too.
it's important.
It's
I
really
do.
important. It's very eye-catching, which is good.
And Tom, you left out one word.
What's that?
Factual.
Oh, that's true.
No.
Well, that's the question
you
I
got
had.
Good point.
You,
That's
you know,
That's
you have to fluff up something you're trying to sell. My friend Chuck always tells me, sell the sizzle.
Well, that's a good point that Rico made
But you
because
have to put in population.
yeah.
Prior price.
And you're also giving a history of the player. You're talking about the player also, Joe. You do that a lot. Like
good.
if you have a Honus Wagner M116 in your auction, you talk about
he's sneaky, isn't he?
you talk about the player.
Oh my.
All right, Paul, we got to let you go. What is your website address?
PBcollectibles.com.
And listen, Paul, we gotta make arrangements to get down to Newport. We have to finalize that.
Well, especially while the weather's good.
Yeah,
Definitely.
well, let's
down
do it
here.
before. Yeah,
Rico's we want to get
playing
Rico
good.
down
Good.
there
Actually,
to do a signing.
soon is good because September I got a couple of which every year I do, doctor appointments, I get checkups and all that. So there's a lot of them.
Doctors.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be good.
All right.
To a couple of book do a book signing, sign in the shop.
Good, Newport's.
All right, Paul, we'll talk to you later.
Take care, Paul.
Okay, take care.
Be good.
Okay, see you, Joe. Bye-bye.
All right, Mr. Tomasulo, let's go. We got about 5 minutes before the break, and then we got you for the rest of the show. Let's talk about your summer rarities auction, man. You got some of the Ruth stuff in there is like off the charts.
Yeah, Tom, this is a tough one. I don't even know where to start. So why don't we just start with lot number one? Mm-hmm. Standard Biscuit Ruth, second-year card. Obviously, 1916 M101 is Ruth's rookie. So this particular card is a very rare back. There's only 3 or 4 known. But the grade is a 6. And the 2 other known ones, the grade is a 2. I mean, that's some significant disparity. I mean, this card can go 400,000. It could go 5, 7. It's one of those once in a lifetime opportunities for a collector to get a Holy Grail Ruth.
Why? I was just thinking, what if there's a little damage on those type cards? You know what I mean? They're real exclusive. So there's a little damage in it. Why does it have to lose some value for that? If I see a Babe Ruth rookie and there's a little, I don't know, something, some mustard or something that he used to put on the Frankfurters, what do I care? I mean, this is a fabulous card.
Right, Rico, you're right. So there's 2, you got to balance 2 things. The technical assessment, the grade, whether it's PSA or SGC or Beckett, and the eye appeal. So, okay, to your point, Rico, from my collection, I buy cards in the pretty much 2 to 5 graded range with eye appeal above and beyond the grade.
Okay, yeah.
So if the card presents well, I'm fine with that, regardless of the numerical assessment. However, I will never buy a card that doesn't have good eye appeal.
Yeah, okay.
One of the things I learned years ago, don't buy something with an asterisk.
So basically,
then when you go to sell it, you're going to have to explain that asterisk.
All right, so Joe, basically you're saying there's nothing wrong with buying a PSA 1 or 1.5 if the eye appeal is there for that grade.
Correct. As long as the price is right. Absolutely, Tom.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break now. And when we come back, we've got plenty of time. Joe, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And then you and I have had a conversation about some of the ball players versus some of the other ball players. We're going to get Rico involved with this conversation because you and I disagree in a few. Joe Tomasulo is in the house. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectables Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
He answered the tough questions. On deck with Richard Patricelli.
All right, it is time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to RobertEdwardAuctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. This week's question, Mr. Petroselli,
Yes.
was submitted by a gentleman whose name is Mark Battle.
Mark Battle. Mark.
And it's a good question.
Mac.
Who was the best umpire
Umpire? Yeah, I know.
during your career?
I'm teasing.
Who was the best umpire during your career and the worst umpire during your career?
Well, I'll tell you, the best umpire, and most of the guys played my era in American League, was Nestor Shylock.
Oh, I remember him.
Yeah, Nestor was excellent. Good ball and strike. If you argued with him, it had to be real bad for him to throw you out. He was very good.
And he was around for years.
Yeah, a long time.
Joe, do you remember him? Nestor Shylock?
I sure do.
Yeah, Nestor was very good. In all honesty, the worst, I just can't say there's the worst umpire. Some were better, some were good, but there weren't any bad umpires.
But some of them were more inconsistent.
Yeah, a little bit, but they wore that big the balloon,
Yeah.
in those days, my early years.
He's actually, Rico, in my top three.
Yeah.
I loved Harry Wendelstadt and Tom Gorman.
Okay, Wendelstadt. Yeah,
They were great umpires.
One of the guys in recent years, a couple of years ago, was fired, Angel Hernandez. I think it was Hernandez or Fernandez. He was, no one liked him. He really kicked guys out, and he made some bad calls. It was terrible. And it's too bad because when I was managing in the minors, he was there, and he had a short fuse. But did a decent job, but I don't know what happened when he got to the big leagues. It was too bad.
Rico, what about this guy, Joe West?
Yeah, Joe West is pretty good, yeah.
He's kind of a showman, though, huh?
Well, so what? Nowadays, in my day, that would have been, what's his name?
Who was the guy that used to shoot you at first base?
Yeah.
What the hell was his name?
Geez,
You remember,
Italian
Joe?
guy, too.
Italian guy. When he was umping first base and you were out, he'd shoot you. What the hell was his name? Do you remember? We'll have to think of that.
I don't remember, but
was it Ron
I don't
something?
remember, Tom.
Ron something?
It might have been, but Italian guy.
Yeah.
But he had a real depression problem. He committed suicide.
He did?
Yeah, he committed suicide, and yes, he was a lot of fun.
Yeah, he was good. I liked him. All right, let's get back to our good friend, Mr. Joe Tomasulo from Memory Lane. Joe, before we get into some specifics, let's talk about the auction a little more. What else you got?
Well, aside from the 75-80 Ruth cards, which I'm not going to go through, I went through the biscuit. We have a very rare Piedmont Eddie Plank. It's one of 5 known Piedmonts. And I don't know if you and Rico are familiar with the Piedmont story.
Well, hold on. It's a T206 Eddie Plank.
T206 Eddie Plank with the Piedmont back. So, like the Wagner card, the McCall Gretzky, the famous PSA 8 Wagner that I believe Kendrick owns now.
Correct. Yep.
The owner of the Diamondbacks. It has a Piedmont back. Piedmont Wagner's planks that are known will cut off a scrapper sheet. They never made it into packs.
I did not know that. And I wrote the damn book.
So there's only 5 known Piedmont planks, and this one is missing ink. It's got an ink pass on the front, so it's got a white background instead of blue.
Interesting.
You know,
So
Eddie Plank.
It's really an amazing
Gettysburg
card.
Eddie.
He threw like 400 innings.
Oh, God, he was unbelievable.
Incredible.
They used to call him the human rain delay. He was so slow.
That's right.
There were stories, that, honest to God, that outfielders, when he was pitching, sometimes they sit on the grass.
Well, Rico, Connie Mack used to say, I think Gettysburg Eddie thinks he's getting paid by the hour.
yeah.
He was a hell of a pitcher, though, Joe.
Oh, geez, yeah.
300-game winner.
Yep. What else you got?
Great pitcher. We got a Boston guard, a Tris Speaker, one of only 2 known.
Very nice.
Wow.
PSA 3 grade, too. Usually those rare Boston guarders are beat up when you find them.
Yeah.
Because they're oversized. We have an 86 Flair set break with the Jordan 10, all 10s actually. 51 Bowman set break, a lot of 53 high-grade tops, our usual 52 high-grade tops to choose from. My God, there's just so many great stuff. We have, it's such a hot card, an M116 Wagner. It's a PSA 3.
Beautiful card. That is such a gorgeous card.
It is.
Is that the one with the blue background?
Right.
Oh.
What makes this one special?
Magnificent
A lot
card.
of times, Tom, the blue is washed out. It almost looks like it was left out in the sun. This blue-green background is so robust. Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's
like one of the best colored ones.
What do they call it?
No, the guy that owns it must be.
Well, what do they call it?
What is he?
What's the legal term for purposes of whatever? For purposes of disclosure. For purposes of disclosure, we're kind of goofing, teasing, because that is my card that I submitted to to Memory Lane.
Yeah.
It's a great card. I bought that card quite a while ago. That card never saw the light of day. That's the truth. As long as I owned that card.
Tom, a little nepotism never heard of.
It was in my safe. It's been in my safe in the dark. I've never. Once or twice, I took that card out to show friends.
Why do you want to sell it now?
Because there's some other things I want to buy.
Okay.
There's some other things I want to buy.
And Rico, in all honesty, I even told Tom, right now, the Portrait Wagner card is the hottest card in the hobby.
Wow.
Even more than Ruth and Cobb. It is head and heels above the rest. A tip-top Wagner in a 3 sold for $156,000.
That's crazy. Well, the other card I have is the E90-2, and my wife will not allow me to put that one on the market, and I love the card.
Well, I'm going to have to talk to Ellen for the next auction about that.
No, we're gonna hold on to that. All right, Joe, let's move on. About one other question about the auction. You're talking about all this high-end stuff that you have.
Yes.
Rico and I, we're very conservative. We're budget buyers. Do you have anything in the auction that we can afford?
Yeah, we got some 1987 Dunross rookie cards. Tom, I'm just breaking them. Listen, there's a lot of stuff in the auction you guys can afford. High end, middle of the road stuff, low end, we have it all. And that's the case for most
exactly.
auction houses.
I mean, that's the point. Point is that, you guys, Heritage, all the high-end auction houses, you have a selection always of cards and memorabilia that kind of suit every budget. And that's the whole key.
There were cards they're going to sell for $200-$300.
Right.
That's why collectors, those who are listening or watching, should go to your website, really, to learn, to see what the vintage looks like, what what the bids are maybe on them, and then go down whether they can afford it or not. But that's how you learn the industry. That's the thing.
Right, and most auction houses, I know we have it, we go with our software, you can sort by highest price.
Right.
Lowest, highest.
I do that all the time.
So you can go bottom up, top down.
Okay.
There's a lot of different sort.
You know something, Joe? I do that. When I first thing I do is I wait a couple of days and then I'll go on an auction site and start at the lowest and see if there's always little nuggets of gold out there that nobody has bid on. Nobody has bid on. So that's what I typically do, honest.
Tom, when you're hitting stash, I would think you would go top down.
No, I start at the bottom because, like, here's a perfect example.
Right.
Here's a perfect example. On the RR auction a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I went on the lowest, and nobody had bid on that 1885 scored card. The Michigan Wolverines against the Philadelphia Quakers, 1885, 2 professional MLB teams. It was scored and signed by Harry Wright. Right?
That's an amazing piece.
I paid $700 for it. Nobody bid on it. It got past it, and everybody. I bought it. It's semi-safe. Harry Wright, baby, right?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
And that Wright signature's authenticated, Tom?
All PSA dedicated, slabbed, everything. Very, very nice.
I'm wondering why that one's so cheap.
Because it got past, a lot of people were looking at that real high-end stuff and just weren't paying attention. So I grabbed it.
That's a great pickup, Tom.
Thank you. All right. Thurman Munson.
Nobody wants it.
Is Thurman Munson does he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? I'm asking both you guys.
Yes.
Joe?
Top of the fence. I'm on top of the fence with him and a Yankee that came around later, Don Mattingly. Now, so with all due respect to someone like Mazeroski, here's what happens when you start putting borderline players in or players that don't deserve to be in. Rico, does Mazeroski get in the Hall of Fame if he doesn't hit that home run?
Yeah.
You think he does?
He was the best second baseman in not only his career, but you can go back and forward.
Defensively, you're saying?
Yeah, defensively. And there should be guys in the Hall of Fame that are great defensive players.
All right, stop. What is his lifetime batting average? Do you know? Do you guys know?
260 something.
I would have to look it up. Tom.
Yeah.
All right, 260.
It's probably 260.
How many home runs did he hit?
Not a lot.
Not a whole lot. That ballpark was like a canyon for Philadelphia, the old ballpark.
All right, now,
there.
without you hitting me on top of the head.
So Rico, I'm gonna come back at you on that.
Go ahead.
Here's the problem with Mazeroski. You're right. But I believe a Hall of Famer needs 2 levels of performance. Performance over a career, which Mazeroski certainly has, Rico. 100% right. Fantastic second baseman. And some real high-end, like peak level of performance, whether it's 4 years, 6 years, to add to that career level. And I just don't see that from Mazeroski.
Totally agree.
Very consistent, steady.
Yeah.
A classic example of a pitcher like that is Don Sutton. Don Sutton was never, wow, oh my God, Sutton's taking the mound. Can't miss this game. But that guy just went out and won games for 20-something years, never won 20 games. And I guess he won over 300 games. So he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
But when I look at Mazeroski, I just don't see the numbers. Because at the end of the day, baseball is a game of numbers. Beside integrity and were you good for the game, and those are important, but those are accents.
But don't forget,
the knockout punch.
In those days, the middle infielders weren't home run hitters. They weren't home run hitters in those days. Louis Aparicio, how many home runs did he hit, for Pete's sakes? He was a great defensive
but Louis
player.
Aparicio was a very good offensive player. He got on base a lot. He stole bases.
Right. Well, yeah, but
listen,
still didn't.
I'm going to say something. No, I'm going to say something.
Go ahead.
I just looked at his numbers.
Yeah.
Bill Mazeroski was a 260 lifetime hitter.
Right.
Bill Mazeroski hit 100 and how many home runs? Not many. I mean, he had 138 home runs. He was an elite second baseman.
That's right.
Rico Petrocelli had a 251 lifetime batting average, hit 240 home runs, and was an elite shortstop for many, many years.
So?
Point being is, he's in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying you're deserving of the Hall of Fame.
Right.
What I'm saying is, you could be a bubble guy if you had a 260.
Rico.
No, I'm sorry.
I agree with Tom 100%.
If you had a 260,
Rico,
you're wrong.
Your playing days, Rico, you had a much better
an elite
peak level of performance.
But in his day, this guy was great.
So were you.
He had no comparison. We're talking about Mazeroski.
He hates this, by the way.
No, I don't. I'm telling you that Mazeroski.
You're very modest.
I know.
Not talking about me. We're talking about him. And I'm telling you that he was the best for his whole career and better than guys who came later. Way better defensively. He was
right,
great.
so-
I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
All right. Can I ask you one more question?
Certainly.
Okay.
Where am I going to go?
When you played, how many years were you at shortstop?
8.
8 years. For the 8 years.
5 at short. Third.
Okay, for the 8 years that you played shortstop, if you take the MLB players that played, you got Aparicio, definitely. Honestly, in your opinion, how many shortstops during that eight-year career were better than you, as a defensive shortstop?
There were guys. I just can't remember. Belanger.
Probably Buddy Harrelson.
Harrelson was a great shortstop. The kid defensively, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he was with Washington. And
and that's
there's a couple. Yeah, but there's other guys too.
All right. So
but you know.
But my next question is this: you look at Belanger. You look at Bud Harrelson. Now look at how many home runs did those guys hit? What were their lifetime batting averages?
They're
They
not Hall of
couldn't hit their
Famers.
way out of a paper bag.
But they're not Hall of Famers. You're throwing out names now.
No, but what
Mazeroski was the top guy.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't think
the
he's deserved
second
it.
baseman.
I don't.
Now,
know.
how about the kid?
And Tom, let's go back to Thurman Munson.
Yes.
Munson
Thank you.
deserves being in Cooperstown much more than Bill Mazeroski.
I agree with you. I think
That's
he does.
my
too.
point.
I think.
Well,
You're not
I
a
don't
big
think
bu-
there's an argument there.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's a whole different situation. Munson, MVP, 300 hitter, decent catcher, good arm.
Second best catcher in baseball behind bench
Behind bench?
during his time.
I got to go with Fisk because I played with Fisk for a long time.
Right, but Munson was a much better hitter than Fisk.
Yes.
That's why I choose Munson.
Yeah, but
wait,
not
wait,
home
wait.
run. Not home
yeah,
run.
I mean, from a power level, Fisk
but
was a better
I'd still
power
say
hitter.
Munson deserves to be in the
I agree
Hall
with
of
that.
Fame, even though he didn't play. Of course, he passed away tragically. But that's just my feeling. I played against the guy, so I know how good he was. He was one of the top clutch hitters in the game throughout his career. Clutch.
I want to ask both you guys a question. Verlander, Scherzer, and Kershaw, are they locks for the Hall?
Yeah.
Kershaw, forget about the Hall. Kershaw throws another 3 or 4 good years. He could go down statistically, sabermetrics-wise, as the greatest pitcher in baseball history. Forget about the Hall.
That's a little.
His numbers are off
That's
the
a little
chart.
much. Yeah, Rico and I don't agree with you on that one.
Tom, look at the numbers. His lifetime ERA in a steroids era is 2.49.
How many wins?
That is over the top insane.
All right.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's a Hall of Famer, but not the greatest of all time.
Rico,
see,
he averages 10 plus strikeouts per 9 innings.
The guy's a great pitcher. I'm not saying he's not, but I don't think he's the greatest of all time. First of all, you can't compare him, players from one era to the next. He's another guy. Oh, yeah, Babe Ruth would have played
true.
now. You don't know.
Now,
You don't
Rico, here's the one negative about Kershaw or any pitcher today. How much do you guys value the save stat, closes? Do you put a lot of emphasis on that? Of course.
Yeah.
In fact, they're putting closers in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mariano, Lee Smith, Trevor Hoffman's going to get in there. Listen, pre-1980, great pitchers didn't just get the win. They got their own save. So you're talking about guys that finish what they started versus a 6-7 inning pitcher.
True.
And to me, that throws a huge curve into comparing pitchers today.
Well, so that's the point that Rico's making. So could Kershaw have thrown, 200-300 innings consistently over a course of a
like
career?
250 to 300 innings.
Yeah,
Right.
the guy's a Hall
Maybe
of
not.
Famer. He's a great
Maybe
pitcher.
he would have broke down.
What about Scherzer?
Definite Hall of Fame.
Yeah, him and Verlander. In today's era,
I
this
agree.
era now, especially, those guys a little different now. They're older, but they want to finish the game. They wouldn't want to come out.
Well,
period.
again, if for our viewers and listeners, yesterday on the GAX moment that we post every week, I had a nice chat with our good friend Derek Grady from Heritage Auctions, and we talk about these because, in my opinion, those, and everybody says we're vintage guys. I'm a vintage guy. But in my opinion, those are 3 good cards to invest in now, short term, because you can still get them under cheap, and those guys are locks for the Hall of Fame. Buy the cards. If you're going to flip them, you're wasting your money. However, if you're going to buy the cards, hold on to them long term, throw them in it, make them part of your portfolio, and that's going to be a good investment.
Yeah. Well,
all right, what about, I'm going to throw one out at both of you guys. I want to hear what Mr. Tomasulo says.
Because
Lefty Grove or Randy Johnson? Lefty Grove or Randy Johnson?
Oh, God. Tom, that's a tough one. I mean, Lefty Grove won 9 ERA titles. That is one of the greatest pitching statistics in baseball history, because versus his peers, he was superior half of his career as far as the least runs being given up, being yielded. Randy Johnson, peak value, is a top 5 pitcher of all time. So, I mean, Aaron or Mays, Williams or DiMaggio. It's such a hard call, Tom.
All right.
It really is. You can flip a coin, and whoever you choose, you didn't come up wrong.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to bring Brian Drent in a few minutes. And Joe and Brian have been having a running argument about who's the better player. And I think we're both going to side with Joe on this one. But we'll find out when Brian comes on. Hang in there. We're going to be right back.
who's the player?
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on the tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. The highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
You know, that's my son, folks, and he wants to take care of his father, so we need some business here. You know, imprinted products keeps your brand in front of your customers more than any other form of advertising. That's a fact. For the best on-time service and new ideas for your next project, give Petroselli Marketing Group, Michael Petroselli, a call. It's a free call, 800-264-4294. Go to their website, at PetrocelliMKT.com. Now, this for, meetings and all kinds of stuff. You got your logo. You always see it advertised on TV now. But, yeah.
We've got jerseys that we're waiting for.
Jeez, I'm sorry. I forgot to bring them.
Just thought I'd bring that up.
But I got something else before we go back. East Coast Sports Marketing and Hunt Auctions are pleased to present the Philadelphia Sports Collectors Show. The Philly Show, it's called, from Friday, September 22nd to Sunday, September 24th, held at the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center, B, 100 Station Avenue, Oaks, Pennsylvania.
Yep.
That's nice. 19456. Why they put that in? Shop over 300 of your favorite hobby dealer booths on over 100,000 square feet of sports collectibles heaven from the 1800s to present day. Major sports auction houses and third-party grading and authentication companies are on hand to assist your collecting needs. The Philly Show is family-friendly and all kids 12 and under get in for free. Autographed guests to include Pete, the Hit King, should be in the Hall of Fame rows. Baseball Hall of Famers, Jim Thome, there's another guy that's great hitter. And Pedro Martinez, that speaks for himself. And 2023 inductee Scott Rowland, basketball legends Julius Dr. J. Irving, and Allen Iverson, and many more. For more information, go to thephillyshow.com. Remember, since 1975, the Philly Show is where it all started.
All right, let's bring in, we have our other compadre on with us, Brian Drent from Mile High Auction. Brian, do you know Mr. Tomasulo? Do you know Joseph Tomasulo?
I do know Joe Tomasulo.
And I know Brian Drent.
My condolences.
What's going on, Joe?
What's up, Brian?
Hey, Brian, you've got an auction starting on the 26th. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Nope.
You do have a Wagner card, but
Tomorrow, Tom.
Well, wait a minute. What's today?
His auction opens tomorrow.
Yeah, but hold on. Today's Wednesday, Joe, not Tuesday.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you.
That's correct.
See, I do. I forget the
Rico
dates.
knows that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, we're opening on the 23rd, and like you said, we are fortunate enough to be able to offer another T206 Honus Wagner in this auction. So it's always exciting to be able to offer that card. The card seems to, have gone through another surge where the pricing has taken a dramatic jump up, and we'll see where this one lands.
You know, Brian, I was eyeing your website, and you have a Royal Rooters Red Sox.
Royal Rooters,
Royal Rooters Red Sox, it's an actual sock, red sock, that says Royal Rooters on it, and it's got the pin, and it's Billy Carrigan's picture. I am eyeing that bad boy because I lost. I bid on one at another auction, and I cheaped out. I did cheap out, and I lost. I'm gonna make a concerted effort, Rico, if you can lend me a few bucks to win this one.
Yeah.
That's a great
Royal
piece,
Rooters.
Brian.
Sure.
It is a great piece, and the better thing than it being a fantastic item is the possibility of getting in your pocket.
Oh, yeah, that would be...
Wow, you sound like Tomasulo.
The moth's got to come out first.
Tom, why are you promoting a piece you want to win?
You know why? Because that's the kind of a guy I am. That's the kind,
Okay.
It's open game. It's open game. May the better man win. Plus, Petrocelli's going to finance me.
Yes, I'll loan you a couple of bucks. But the Wagner card and the Mantle 52 rookie card, they're famous cards. In other words, I think to people, especially when I say younger people, not the modern young kids, but when you say Wagner, I mean that's been out front so much, and the Mickey Mantle, as opposed to the Babe Ruth, even the Babe Ruth card.
That's a good point.
Don't you think so?
For the younger kids, especially.
I mean, okay, Mantle.
When you are in this hobby and in this business, it's always a focal point. It's the card that really buoys everything else. In fact, when I discuss, what I do with friends of mine that aren't in the business, they always say, "Well, you know that little card? Have you ever had one of those?" and I say, "Oh, the T206 Honus Wagner," and then their next comment is, "Oh yeah, whatever." And then you show them a picture, and they're like, "Yeah, that's the card."
Yeah.
And it's the card that's really become. It hasn't become. It's been, and it continues to be. It's the one item in our business. I hate to use the word holy grail, but that's really what it is.
Yeah.
And
it really is, Brian.
It is about it, and it's even going past being a baseball card now. It's Americana. It's an iconic collectible, and it's like a piece of art now.
Brian, how many Wagners over the years have you sold?
I've sold. This will be the fifth one.
Fifth one. And Joe, you guys have sold a few too, right?
What's
that?
I said, Joe, you guys have sold a few too over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
about again 5 or 6, give or take.
Yeah,
couple privately.
So when you're talking about that, you're talking about how many Wagner
40 or
cards?
50.
40 or 50. So they're different cards, not cards.
Not
that
all
were
of them.
Kind of moved around. Okay.
Yeah. It's more like 60.
Okay.
There's more.
Okay.
I would.
Yeah, because
I've sold one of them, multiple times.
Couple times.
So.
Yeah.
Brian, what else do you have? What are some of the highlights?
Yeah, some of the highlights. It's an auction that really has a lot going for it. One of the highlights, we've got a 52 Mantle and an SGC 5.5, really beautiful card, beautifully centered. There's a Rose rookie and a 9. There's it's a card that may not have a massive price tag on it, but it's incredibly scarce in the grade. A 59 Topps football card of Johnny Unitas, recently graded a 9.
Very cool.
We've got an unbelievable selection of high-end unopened, kind of highlighted by an unopened 48 leaf baseball wax pack that's been graded by PSA a 7. Great non-sports selection. One of the items that I'm really curious about, and I am excited to be able to offer, we've got a 1971 Bobby Orr game-used jersey that's been photo matched. It's got multiple team repairs, so that's going to be incredibly exciting. And then I'm going to throw out an item that people are going to kind of laugh at, or maybe not laugh at, but kind of pique their interest. We recently acquired, and it's an item that doesn't become available at all. We've got a 2014 Pokemon World Championship first place trophy.
Nice.
And the cards for being in the first, second, or third place of the World Championship do become available, and they say trainer on the card, and then they have first place, second place, third place, and those are incredibly valuable. But the one thing you never see is the first place trophy. The only one that we've ever been able to find for sale was a 2000 example that was sold in another auction. So it should be really interesting to see what that kind of item sells.
We got about 2 minutes left. I'm going to throw this out because I know you and Tomasulo have been going at it for decades about this. Not decades, but Ohtani versus Ruth. Now, it looks like Tomasulo takes the Ruth and you take the Ohtani. I mean, Brian, what are you thinking? You're going to compare
I'll tell you, and I don't know if Joe relayed this, but the conversation took a great turn at Gibson Steakhouse.
Over cocktails.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
On Thursday night during the National.
After 5 martinis.
Yeah.
It was friendly but heated. And, I never thought, I'm a Ruth guy just like Joe, but I don't know if we've ever seen anything like Ohtani, and we surely haven't during our lifetimes.
No, but
now Joe has a great deal of statistical data that he's going to bring up, but I don't think Babe Ruth played in the modern game per se, and he didn't play going past St. Louis. He didn't face multiple pitchers a night. He didn't
Right.
have guys throwing 104 painting the black.
Right. Brian, absolutely. Those are all valid points. However,
there's a however.
It's a game.
He's right.
So here's the thing with Ruth. It's a game that's measured against your peers, your performance versus your peers. Ruth out home almost every team in both leagues for several years. And here's the big thing. So a lot of my friends hit me with the 101, 102, Jacob deGrom, 93 mile an hour sliders. Okay. And that's why his arm is actually in a cast right now. But with that being said, Ruth swung a 42-ounce bat. Now,
how many
physics
years
has definitely proven that a lighter bat creates more bat speed where you can hit a ball further. So let's say the average velo was upper 80s to 90. Maybe guys like Walter Johnson, some mid-90s guys. You drop 8 ounces with a bat.
Spitters he had to hit.
Promise
that's a good point.
That Babe Ruth is taking 100-mile-an-hour fastballs and putting them into the upper deck. So everything is relative, to the period of time.
How many years did Ruth play? How many years?
Well, that's a good point.
23?
And that's the other thing. And Brian knows that.
Come on.
Ohtani has to do this for a decade.
He'll hurt his arm.
All right, listen, we are out of time. The ongoing argument will continue with Drent and Tomasulo.
That's right. It's great having you guys.
Hey, with that being said, we love you guys. You guys have been with us since day one, both of you. And it means so much to Rico, myself, and JM. You guys have been great supports. Brian's auction opens up the 23rd, which is really tomorrow because it's the 22nd today, right? Because of the Wednesday, Tuesday, all that crap. And don't forget the Rarities auction at Memory Lane ends in about 15 days. September 9th. With that being said, guys, thank you so much. We love you guys.
Thank you.
And to our
God
viewers,
bless, guys.
and to our viewers and listeners, happy collecting.
Take care.